Alright guys, today we're going to talk about eggs. This deck is coming up a lot actually now after the Pro Tour. I wanted to show you guys this in a couple matches, but I think I'm going to make this video first. I've played this deck a couple times now today, trying to make a video where I could show you guys like how the combo works, except for the fact all of my opponents refuse to let me actually go through the combo, and they concede the game before I get the entire way through. Because once it starts, you know it's going, and they just refuse to sit there. So this is a local game, one player, and we're just going to go through the motions. So in this deck, even a hand like this, where you don't have mana but you have a Lotus Bloom, it's still pretty solid. You can still usually get there. The deck only runs 17 land, and really can work only off 1 or 2 on the field at a time. In this instance, I would just start off with the Probe to draw a card. Hoping it was a land, but it wasn't. So we set some counters. We'd pass the turn, so this would go down. And draw for turn. Didn't get anything, so this goes down. As soon as I remember where the button goes. So we draw again. Didn't draw anything. We'll have to discard at the end of turn. As stupid as it sounds, we're probably going to get rid of one of the sunrise effects, because we do have a bobble. Then we're going to roll this guy down. We're going to pass turn, roll him down. He enters the battlefield. We'll draw for turn. We get a reshape. We're going to... Right now is when you'd have to go for the combo, because you haven't drawn a land. So it might be hard stretching it out for the combo, but here goes nothing. Stuff's falling in the background. We'll crack this. We're going to add 3 blue. Use a blue. Use 2 blue to reshape the bobble. View library. We reshape the bobble for 0 to get another Lotus Bloom. Use this Lotus Bloom. 3 again. Put a star out. Reshape the star. The star will go to the graveyard as an additional cost, so we draw a card before the reshape happens. And again, we're reshaping for 0. So we're going to get another Lotus Bloom. Now we're going to use the Lotus Bloom. We're going to add 3 for the second sunrise. Second sunrise, return all artifact, creatures, enchantments, and land cards put in the graveyard that would put there from the battlefield this turn. So that would have been all of my artifacts that went there this turn. We're going to bobble the sunrise to the bottom. And draw a card when the bobble goes because of its effect. This is perfect. You want to fetch land or the ghost quarters, because they're going to keep your library shuffled after putting stuff on the bottom. We haven't played our land for turn for like 7 turns now. 3 turns. We're going to use a Scalding Tarn. We're going to fetch up just an island. We're going to use... we used those 3 already. We're going to use this Lotus Bloom to add blue. This Lotus Bloom can add blue as well. And this one for my white. So I have 6 blue and 3 white floating. We're gonna cycle one of the we're gonna cycle one of the blue for another blue and draw a card off of it. I'm gonna use a blue to cast Sphere, cycle blue through it, and draw a card off of that. We're going to use 2 of the blue to play an Elsewhere Flask to draw a card. A blue for Serum Visions. And we can actually play neither of these because we're comboing off right now. But it's not scrying, so I have to take one. Use another blue for Visions. Draw the card. View the top 2. We can't play land for turn. At this point, I think I'm better off drawing more draw artifacts in that vision, so we'll put both on the bottom. We're going to use that last blue to play the bauble. We're going to use the bauble to put this Faith's Reward onto the bottom of the library and draw a card. We're going to use this Elsewhere Flask. Elsewhere Flask, choose a basic land type. Each land you control becomes a type until end of turn. We are going to make islands. Everything is an island. Yes, it is. And then we're going to use our 3 for Second Sunrise. We do it again. We're going to get all the artifacts that went to the graveyard this turn out onto the battlefield. If I can spread them out. We're going to stack the ones that are like... And lands. Where's that Tarn? Alright, so now we're going to bauble the Second Sunrise to the bottom and draw a card. Then we're going to use the fetch land to shuffle our library. I'll pull out an island. We're going to use the bauble, targeting nothing, just to draw a card. Everything's going to be islands again. I'm going to add 3 white. I can get away with adding 6 white here and just 3 blue in case we draw something for the blue. We're going to cycle blue through this guy in case we draw a reshape. No reshape. Cycle blue through this guy. There's the reshape, but that's fine because we can do it again here later on. We're going to get this guy out there just because we have the mana floating, and why not? Oh, they might play something in response. That's fine because there's also other win conditions in here. We're going to Second Sunrise again. Plus they'd have to like path them, because I'd just get them back if they use a regular kill spell on them. Yep. Alright, first things first. Let's bubble on the bottom. Reshape. But then I could draw a little. We're gonna actually just add 3 blue so I can reshape before bobbling, because I would hate to bobble and draw a Lotus Bloom when I can reshape for the Lotus Bloom right now. So we're going to use 2 of this to reshape the star. When the star goes, I draw, and I just saw the flaw of me doing that because I drew a card anyway, but that's fine because we drew one of our win conditions. I'll review our library, and we're going to get out our last Lotus Bloom. That's not Lotus, here's Lotus Bloom. And then we're going to use 1 blue to put out the Spell Bomb. Bobble the second Sunrise to the bottom of the library. Draw a card. Fetch a land to shuffle the library up. It goes on the battlefield, dumbass. I think I've been missing my trigger with this guy, but everything's an island. Bobble targeting nothing. Some blue. Some red. Some white. We're going to use one of the reds for the Spell Bomb. And we're going to do 2 damage to the other player. They're at 18 life. We're going to cycle one of our blue through this guy. And then we're going to use 3 of our white for a second Sunrise. And we do this game again. I'm not going to forget this trigger this time. In some of the other lists for this deck, it doesn't even run this Elsewhere Flask, but I kind of like the additional trigger because of the Lab Maniac. Alright. Again, before anything else, Bobble. Bottom of the library. Draw a card. Notice I've done this without even having to tap any of my mana right now. I'd be tapping it to add it if I had a Ghost Quarter on the battlefield, because then I could just add, that 1 additional every time. I missed it again. Whatever. We're going to make everything an island. We're gonna add 3. Let's see. Yeah. 3. 3. 3. Bobble nothing. Draw. 2 damage. They're at 16. Cycle. Cycle. For Faith Reward. Draw off of the Elsewhere Flask that I've been forgetting to use. Bobble the Faith's Reward to the bottom of the library. Draw a card. Scalding Tarn. No more islands, just a free shuffle at this point. 2 damage from the spell bomb. Everything is islands. Bobble, nothing. Cycle. Cycle. -2. Elsewhere flask. Draw. Islands. 1 for star. 1 for star. Cycle. Cycle. One for sphere. Cycle. Yeah, we'll just cycle anything. I don't need a specific color right now. Draw. Add some blue. Blue. White. White. Blue for visions. Essentially what we're just trying to do is these aren't second sunrises, so I'm going to move them. Essentially what we're going to do is we're trying to get our deck to be 8 sunrise effects. I was making sure I paid for the Searing Visions. 8 sunrise effects, just so that we were able to constantly get back the spell bomb. I'm going to use sleight of hand here. Move that up, move this down. And then we're going to sunrise again. And this is why people didn't want to play against this deck today, and why it was so hard for me to make a video that showed you the full combo. Is if you're paying attention, they're only at 16. Or 14. We're going to say 16 for the hell of it. I'm not even paying attention. That's how bad this, not bad this deck is, but how boring it can be sometimes. Alright, before anything, bobble. You don't necessarily have to bobble before everything. I do it because, if I want to find, I do it because it's just easier for me to remember that way. They're at 14. Add some more red. I'm just going to shoot down the line here. Blue. Blue. White. These are both making everything islands. Bobble. Use the Serum Visions. Do the Scry off Serum Visions. We're going to leave the reshape on top because I'm going to use it next sunrise go around, because that'll give us a shuffle effect that doesn't cause us to lose a life. It's, we're going to kill them before we kill ourselves, but it's, to me, it's just a better choice. Because we got enough draw effects and enough sunrise effects in hand. That's just us cycling our mana. Play a bobble. Use a bobble. Elsewhere flask. Islands. Sleight of hand. Sphere. Cycle. Oh my god. Get these guys in my graveyard. Sunrise. We're going to go the Maniac route here. You can win with the Spell Bomb. Like I said, I really love the Laboratory Maniac. It's harder to, well, it's about as easy to use, but you can see how the Spell Bomb is used with the effect. Draw my 3. For these guys, Bobble. Targeting nothing. Because we're going to go for the Maniac. Nothing. Nothing. Cycle. Cycle. And because we cannot draw a card, and there are no cards in it, we win the game instead of losing it. If you wanted to do the Spell Bomb effect, you just do the same thing. You just constantly cycle one of these Second Sunrises back into your deck with a Bobble, and Second Sunrise the Spell Bomb out. But that's the deck, and that's the combo. As you can see, it's a lengthy combo, and a lot of the time players won't force you to go through it. If I was you guys, I would force a player to play through at least the better first part of the combo, because they can actually lose steam where you wouldn't expect them to. But after a while, you can just tell that they've got it, especially after they have one or two of these or 2 or 3 of these Lotus Blooms out. Rarely have I had all 4 of them out. I end up drawing into one a lot of the time. But that is eggs. Let's go see if we can find a game. Connecting. I rolled a 16. He rolled an 8. No mana, no blooms. Every piece I wish I had. We're going to have to mulligan. Mulligan. We're going to have to try to keep this. If we can get another land, we have 2 draws off the flasks. Stranglegeist. That's a like 3rd or 4th time I've seen him today. I've seen him in Death Cloud, so I'm expecting that is the deck we're playing against. Which actually hurts this deck if they can hit that Death Cloud before I can combo. Maybe they're mono green Dungrove Elder?